Have you ever felt like your mind is a browser with dozens of tabs open at the same time, yet none of them are actually useful? Don't worry, you're not alone. In today's world, overthinking has practically become a competitive sport, except it's one that does nothing good for your mental health. We've been conditioned to believe that if we're not actively solving a problem, we're wasting time. But guess what? That very thought is what's draining your energy. Today, I'm going to share a simple yet powerful secret. You don't have to overthink everything to live a good life. In this video, Stoic philosophy will provide you with 10 valuable strategies to protect your mental energy and avoid feeling like an overstuffed piñata about to burst. Stay with me until the end, because the most important part might just surprise you. Remember, sometimes less is more. When you learn to declutter your mind from unnecessary thoughts, you gain something priceless: inner peace. So if you're ready to stop being a prisoner of your own thoughts, join me on this journey of simple yet effective strategies. And yes, letting go is the first step. But before we dive into each strategy, let me tell you a story. It will help you understand the wisdom behind everything you're about to learn. Strategy 1. Overthinking, the invisible burden of the mind. We often find ourselves trapped in an endless stream of thoughts. Our brains constantly generate worries, hypothetical scenarios, and predictions about the future. We dwell on the past, which we cannot change, or imagine the future, which may never happen. This not only drains our mental energy, but also robs us of inner peace. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Yet, instead of mastering our thoughts, we let them control us. Modern society glorifies busyness, equating constant thinking with productivity. In reality, an overloaded mind leads only to exhaustion and anxiety. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, pointed out, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Overthinking a problem does not make it disappear. It only makes it more complicated in our minds. A Stoic does not waste time on meaningless thoughts. They focus on action, on what is within their control. Ask yourself, is this thought useful? Does it help me move forward? If not, let it go. Peace of mind does not come from thinking more. It comes from thinking wisely. Strategy 2. The story of the overflowing teacup. A young man sought out a Zen master, hoping to find inner peace. He had read many books, thought deeply, yet always felt exhausted and stuck. When he met the master, he hurriedly spoke about everything he had learned, the philosophies he followed, and the worries that filled his mind. The master listened silently, then gently began pouring tea into the young man's cup. Even when the cup was full, he continued pouring until the tea overflowed. Alarmed, the young man exclaimed, "Master, the cup is already full. It can't hold any more." The Zen master smiled and said, "Like this cup, your mind is too full. If you don't let go of unnecessary thoughts, how can you receive peace?" The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." Like the young man in the story, many of us are trapped in our own thoughts. We fill our minds with worries, expectations, and regrets, then wonder why we cannot find peace. To achieve tranquility, we must learn to let go. Seneca once advised, "If you wish to be happy, limit your desires." Observe your thoughts as a Zen master observes a teacup, and when you see it overflowing, be ready to pour some out. Strategy 3. 3 principles to start detoxing your mind. We cannot control every thought that comes to mind, but we can train ourselves to respond to them. The following 3 principles, based on Stoic philosophy, will help us cleanse our minds and find peace. Breathe deeply. Bring your mind to the present. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Limit yourself to the present." When the mind is overwhelmed with anxiety, one of the most effective ways to regain clarity is to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, then exhale slowly. This helps calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and pull your mind back to the present. Each breath is a reminder that you are here, right now, not in the past or future. Write down your thoughts. Clear your mind. Seneca once advised, "We suffer not from the actual events, but from our judgment of them." When the mind is chaotic, writing down your thoughts helps you organize and identify what truly matters. It doesn't matter if your writing is beautiful. What matters is honesty. Putting your worries on paper is like tidying up a room. You can clearly see what should be kept and what should be discarded. Focus on what's important. Let go of what you cannot control. Epictetus taught, some things are within our control and others are not. Peace comes from distinguishing between the two. Instead of wasting energy on things beyond our reach, direct your attention to what truly matters, your values, meaningful actions, and your attitude toward life. Detoxing the mind isn't about erasing all thoughts, but rather about selecting the thoughts worth keeping. By practicing these 3 principles, we gradually find tranquility amidst the chaos of life. Strategy 4. Strategies to control your thoughts and live more peacefully. The human mind is like a river. If we let it flow freely, sometimes large waves can wash away our peace. But if we know how to control it, we can navigate it gently, more peacefully. Below are 4 strategies based on Stoic philosophy that help us master our thoughts and find tranquility within our souls. Accept uncertainty, learn to adapt. Epictetus once said, do not wish for everything to happen as you want, but wish for it to happen as it does, and you will find peace. We often worry because we want to control everything. The future, work, the emotions of others. But in reality, many things are beyond our control. Accepting uncertainty doesn't mean giving up, but rather being ready to adapt to whatever happens instead of fighting it. Practice mindfulness, observe your thoughts, without being carried away. Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of letting thoughts take us away, we should learn to observe them as an outsider. When a negative thought arises, don't immediately believe it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Recognizing your thoughts helps prevent them from controlling you. Don't try to please everyone. Focus on your own values. Seneca wrote, if you want everyone to like you, you will lose yourself. Trying to please everyone is an impossible and stressful task. Instead of seeking validation from others, focus on your own values and principles. When you live true to your nature, the right people will naturally be drawn to you. Learn to let go. Less control, less worry. Finally, remember that the more we try to control, the more likely we are to fall into stress. The Stoic philosophers taught that we should simply do our best within our abilities and let the rest unfold naturally. When we let go of what is unnecessary, we will feel lighter and have more space to enjoy life. Strategy 5. Stop overthinking and practice a mental reset. We often think that continuous thinking equals intelligence and efficiency, but in reality, constant analysis, worry, and calculation can drain the mind. Sometimes the best way to make a wise decision is not to think more, but to stop, relax, and reset your mind. You don't always need to think deeply. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, allow yourself time to calm down, allow your mind to rest. We don't need to overthink everything. Some issues don't have immediate answers, and the more we force ourselves to find a solution, the more stuck we feel. Sometimes, simply accepting reality and allowing the mind to settle will naturally lead to the answer at the most unexpected moment. Try taking time for activities that help your mind relax. Go for a walk, listen to music, or simply breathe deeply. When we stop stressing, our minds will have space to be creative and think more clearly. Reduce exposure to unnecessary information. Seneca once warned, if you do not control your mind, someone else will do it for you. In the modern world, our minds are constantly bombarded by information, from social media, sensational news, to negative viewpoints. When we absorb too much unnecessary content, we easily fall into confusion, anxiety, and lose focus on what truly matters. One of the most effective ways to reset the mind is to reduce exposure to distracting information. Set limits for social media usage, selectively choose the content you consume, and spend more time in the real world. When the mind is not overloaded with meaningless things, you will feel lighter and more focused on what truly adds value. Strategy 6. Filter out unnecessary thoughts. Our minds are like a room. If too many unnecessary things pile up, the space becomes cramped, cluttered, and suffocating. Thoughts are the same. Anxieties, negativity, or things beyond our control only weigh down the mind. Therefore, to have a clear and peaceful mind, we need to learn how to filter out unnecessary thoughts. Filter information, throw away mental trash. Epictetus once said, it is not events that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. Many negative thoughts and worries do not come from the external world, but from how we interpret the situation. When we overthink negative things, we add extra burdens to our minds. Just like cleaning a house, take time to filter your thoughts. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, is this thought helping me? Is it truly important? If not, let it go, instead of letting it take up space in your mind. Be proactive in choosing what you accept each day. Avoid negative news, meaningless debates, and people who always sow anxiety. When the mind is less attacked by harmful things, we will feel lighter. Live in the present. What can I do right now? Seneca once said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of human anxiety comes from overthinking about the future, things that have not happened yet or may never happen. To avoid getting caught in the spiral of worry, always bring your mind back to the present by asking, what can I do right now? By focusing on specific actions, you won't have time to worry about things beyond your control. For example, instead of worrying about the result of an exam, focus on studying. Rather than fearing future career outcomes, improve your skills right now. When the mind has a clear task to focus on, random thoughts will automatically fade away. By knowing how to filter thoughts and live in the present, we will have a lighter, clearer, and more peaceful mind. Strategy 7. Limiting digital content consumption. We are living in the information age, where everything is available with just a tap. News, videos, and social media constantly overwhelm the mind, leading to mental overload and exhaustion. Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But if we are not careful, we may let the digital world control us instead of the other way around. Information overload, the trap of the digital age. Every day, we are exposed to thousands of pieces of information, sensational news, other people's perfect lives on social media, and countless app notifications. This not only depletes mental energy, but also makes it easy for us to lose focus. Studies show that consuming too much digital content can diminish the ability to think deeply and cause prolonged stress. We may feel anxious reading negative news, comparing ourselves to others on social media, or getting caught up in meaningless content while losing track of time. Epictetus once reminded us, the wise man is not disturbed by things he cannot control. We cannot control everything on the internet, but we can choose what we allow ourselves to take in. Setting boundaries for technology, regaining control. To limit information overload, set specific boundaries for technology use. Limit phone usage time. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media, spend time on real-life activities like reading, walking, or having face-to-face conversations with friends. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Constant notifications can distract us. Only keep important ones on to reduce distractions. Establish tech-free zones. Dedicate certain times of the day, such as in the morning or before bed, to completely disconnect from screens. By learning how to control the information we consume, we will have a clearer, more focused mind and experience less stress. Strategy 8. Choose the battles worth fighting. Life is full of conflicts, problems, and situations that demand our reaction. But is every issue worth investing our energy in? Stoics advise that, instead of jumping into every argument or stressful situation, we should learn to select the battles that truly matter. As Seneca once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Not everything deserves your attention. Imagine this. You're on your way to work, and someone pushes you or says something rude. You could get angry and argue, but will it really change anything? A week later, will you even remember this incident? If not, why waste your energy on it? Many issues in life don't have a lasting impact, but we often let them control our emotions. Epictetus taught, remember that not everything is within your control. Do not waste your energy on things you cannot change. Ask yourself before reacting. Before reacting to a problem, ask yourself, will this matter in a week, month, year? Does it directly affect my core values? Will my response really help? If the answer is no, let it go. Not everything is worth debating, and not every issue needs to be addressed immediately. Save your energy for what truly matters. By learning to select the battles worth fighting, you'll have a calmer mind and won't get caught up in meaningless distractions. Strategy 9. Do less to achieve more. In modern society, we often mistake multitasking for a sign of efficiency. However, in reality, this doesn't help us accomplish more. Instead, it reduces productivity. Stoic philosophy emphasizes focus and simplicity in action because a scattered mind struggles to achieve depth and effectiveness. As Marcus Aurelius once said, do everything as if it is the only thing you need to do right now. Multitasking, the enemy of productivity. Scientific research has proven that the human brain doesn't actually have the ability to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. When we try to do several things at once, like answering emails, scrolling through social media, and working, we are constantly switching between tasks, which reduces our ability to concentrate and the quality of our work. Epictetus taught, the wise man does not chase too many things at once. Instead, he gives his full attention to the most important one. When focusing on a single task, we can complete it faster, better, and with less stress. Live simply to lighten the mind. Our environment reflects our mental state. A cluttered room with too many unnecessary items can increase stress and reduce focus. Stoics value simplicity, not just in thought, but in how we organize our lives. Try implementing the rule. If something is not truly useful or brings joy, eliminate it. A tidy living space helps keep the mind at ease, allowing us to focus on what matters. Do less, but do it meaningfully. Less distraction, more effectiveness. Strategy 10. Quietude is strength. In a world full of noise and distractions, we often feel restless when we do nothing. However, it is in these moments of quiet that the mind becomes clearer and stronger. Stoic philosophy teaches that quietude is not emptiness, but a form of strength that helps us control our emotions, think clearly, and live more deeply. As Seneca once said, the quiet of the soul is true strength. When the mind is not disturbed by unnecessary thoughts, we can see things more clearly. Doing nothing, a forgotten art. We tend to fill every gap with activity, scrolling on our phones, watching the news, or working nonstop. But if we never let our minds rest, we will get caught in a spiral of stress and exhaustion. Stoics understand that sometimes doing nothing is the best thing we can do for ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Give yourself time to be still. Do not let your mind be disturbed by things that do not matter." Quietude allows us to recharge, think more deeply, and make better decisions. How to find quietude? Spend time for yourself. Try setting aside a few minutes each day to sit still, free from distractions like phones or work. Avoid the noise. If possible, find a quiet place to read, walk, or meditate. Observe instead of reacting. When facing a difficult situation, instead of reacting immediately, pause and think. Quietude is not weakness. It is the foundation of inner strength. If you found the Stoic philosophies in this article helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss valuable content that will help you strengthen your mindset and find peace in life. Feel free to leave a comment sharing the lesson that resonated with you the most. What in this article made you change your perspective or sparked your thoughts? I look forward to hearing your feedback.